Farida made history in Budapest this year by winning Egypt's first ever FINA World Championship medal.
The winner is going to be lane at number 4, Farida Osman, 25.65. That is a new Tier Pro Swim Series record.
I literally just started performing well as I was young. So like people just expected that all the time, but that's just not the case. It's just not how it works. And I personally put pressure on myself too because I want to please them. I want to like meet their expectations, but that just gets very heavy.
Today we are speaking with a 3-time Egyptian Olympian, Farida Osman, who has shattered every ceiling possible for Egyptian athletes. I'm excited to speak with her because she has a lot of ambition. She always sets little goals to reach her big vision, and that is something we have a lot of things to learn from.
I am Farida Osman. I am 29 years old. I am a professional swimmer and currently training to compete at my 4th Olympics in Paris 2024. I've literally competed in multiple like world championships, like African championships, nationals, Olympics, just like literally from small to the biggest stage I've competed.
How did you get into swimming? Like, because obviously you have such a beautiful career already, but what made you start and what kept the passion alive for you to keep swimming?
So I started when I was 4 years old. I have an older brother. He's 4 years older than me. And my parents just wanted us both to like learn how to swim, literally just like as a soft skill. So whenever we go like by the beach or the ocean, like we would know how to swim. I literally just loved the water. I just felt so comfortable around it. And like the coaches saw that too. And I'm a very competitive person. So it was just like a great opportunity for me to keep going. And this is when I joined like the age group swimming. And I swam my first competition. It was nationals when I was 11 years old. And then I joined the national team when I was 12. So it was literally just like, it happened so quick.
That is beautiful.
Thank you.
You have like a 25-year career.
I know.
How do you handle that mentally? Because longevity in sport is something that's difficult to achieve, and you're nailing it, obviously.
Yeah,
so how do you go through it?
So I think for me, how to like be able to keep going mentally is just like knowing that I would have to take a break throughout like big competitions. Usually my big competitions, whether it's like Olympics or World Championships or African Championships, it's usually by like the end of summer. So like July, August. But I always told myself like once I'm done with the season, I would have to like take like a few weeks to a month off because I feel like mentally I just need to reset and recharge. And I feel like professional athletes usually don't do that because they just think like I can't miss any days, like I need to keep going all the time. And I think like, yeah, you're gonna have to keep going all the time, but if you just keep going without stopping, like your body's just gonna shut down and mentally you're gonna be burnt out. So I think for me, what works for me to like keep going is to obviously focus during the season, like no days off, like putting your 100%, but once it's done, no matter what the result is, good or bad, I told myself like I need to take a few weeks off just to like reset and be ready for the new season.
And you're right.
Thank you.
We do not take the time to rest.
Yeah.
Like, keep going until we break down. So words of advice here.
What other tips or tools do you use? So for people who are struggling with their mental health, besides resting, what else would you recommend that they do?
So for me, I think the biggest thing is like accepting the fact that I need help, like coping with like expectations and pressure. And I think like literally just like at a very young age, I always had this pressure of like performing. Cause like I said, I literally just started performing well as I was young. So like people just expected that all the time, but that's just not the case. It's just not how it works. And I personally put pressure on myself too because I want to please them. I want to like meet their expectations, but that just gets very heavy. And I think like I want to say like 2019 is when I realized like I can't, like obviously you have your support system, you have your family and your friends that you talk to, but I think like 2019 is when I realized like, no, it needs to be more than that. And I need to talk to like a sports psychologist. And this is when I started really working with a sports psychologist just to like deal and like have tools to deal with the expectation and pressure, because it does get a lot. And I feel like if you're not able to like cope with that, it could literally be detrimental to your career. So I think for me, like obviously rest and like recovery, and also like having fun outside of swimming. Like I need to be happy outside of swimming. I've had 2 different experiences when it comes to like Olympic year. This time around, I'm like really believing it that I need to enjoy every day, and no matter what happens in Paris, I'm just gonna be okay because I gave it my all throughout my journey.
That's insane. I feel like your journey is my journey, because I've really been through the same thing. We are the same age. We started around the same time. I had that breakthrough mentally around the same time, at the end of 2018, 2019. So it's very interesting to see how similar it is, like when we think about it throughout across all sports. And definitely the enjoying the journey, the moment is something, whenever you get the grasp of it, it makes so much difference in the way you approach.
And obviously, obviously it's easier said than done, for sure. But like, it took me years to really believe it. So it's not like an overnight thing, you know?
Nope,
it's not. I wish it was, but no.
How do you do that? So if mentally I'm able to say, yes, intellectually I would like to enjoy the journey. That's really hard to emotionally do when you're so focused on a goal. So how do you continue to keep that top of mind for yourself?
So I think whenever I have like down days, like we're all human beings, like we all have a hard time sometimes. And I think like whether it's swimming or any other sport, like the journey is not easy, especially with our goals in mind. Like it's never easy. But I think for me, I just learned that to embrace the pain, if that makes sense. Like I'm just like, I keep thinking like in 10 years, I'm not going to be doing this. So might as well just enjoy it. Like I'm going to be in the real world, that like I'm not going to get the same feeling or adrenaline or like just that lifestyle in general. So I think for me, just reminding myself that I'm not going to have this forever, and like really enjoying what I'm doing, like having fun in practice, whether it was like with your teammates or just like grabbing dinner with friends after. So just like making the journey a lot more fun, and not necessarily, because it will get repetitive, it will be a routine, but I think just like doing different things here and there that recharges you and makes you have fun is what really helped me throughout this season.
Farida, I know you've also broken literally every ceiling, barrier after barrier, and you were one of the only girls swimming on your teams growing up. Talk to us about what that was like for you.
In Egypt, like we always reach a certain age, women at least, and we're like, we have to decide between school and sport. You know, like when it comes to college, like we don't really have the communication and like the support to keep doing both. And this is why I decided that I wanted to go to the US for college, because I wanted to do both, and they're both like equally important to me. Like I wanted to be a great swimmer, but at the same time I wanted to have a great education, because like if something falls, you need to fall back on the other. And I was like the first Egyptian swimmer to like go through that journey until I become a professional athlete. Because like in Egypt, like they still ask me like, what do you do besides swimming? And I still have to explain that swimming is my job. Like I'm a professional athlete. Like in my journey, like all the ups and downs, like it didn't make it easy, because I was like kind of the first one to like curve the pathway and like try to understand and learn on my own as I kept going, kind of thing.
You mentioned you went to school. So are you done with your degree, or are you still studying? And if so, what did you study?
So I graduated in 2017.
Okay.
Damn, that was 7 years ago. That's a long time.
Yeah.
But since then, I've literally just been focusing on swimming. Like, I've become 100% giving it my all to just swimming. And I think after that, I'm definitely gonna lean back and fall back on something else, because swimming is gonna have to end sometime. And I studied marketing and advertising, so I want to do something with like sports marketing and sports management. Especially, this is something else also in Egypt, like I have to be the first one to do and the first one like to learn about it. It's just like living off just swimming. So in Egypt, just like finding sponsors and partners, and like obviously swimming is an expensive sport, because like just the swimsuit that we wear is like $500. You know, so just
way.
We're gonna have to have like financial help, you know, because it is a lot, and you can't do that all by yourself. Like, especially with your family, like you can't keep asking them to like provide you financial help. But like, how do you make it on your own, and like finding the right agent, and like because Egypt like is known to be so good in soccer or like football, like that's literally where the money goes. So I literally had to change that idea of there are different sports other than soccer that perform well or even better than what they do. So let's try to find partners and sponsors that have the same ideals, so we can all go and move towards the same goal.
Do you have an idea of what you would like to build? Is it an agency? Is it more like a one-on-one consultancy? Like, do you already have an idea?
So after swimming, for sure, I want to start like my own swim academy. Just, I feel like I learned so much throughout my journey. And I think, like if I've known all the things that I've learned earlier, whether it could be like at a younger age, I feel like the support would be a lot more beneficial, and we would have more people like compete at the international level more. Because in Egypt, like I only got the support when I pretty much did all the journey by myself. But like once I got the medal, once I achieved my goal, I started getting support then. But just like imagine getting the support as in the beginning of their journey, you know, that would have been a lot different. And I feel like if I just gave that to the young swimmers, whether men or women, I feel like we could have a lot more people achieving great things.
You mentioned something that's very important, that we get help once we are there. But the problem is we need the help from the very beginning.
Yeah, so, exactly. And I feel like whenever someone has like something bad to say to me, like for example, Tokyo, I had a terrible performance, and I got like a lot of hate and backlash for it. And like, obviously I was upset then, but like now looking back, like I told myself, if you were a part of my journey, if you didn't do anything that helped me, you know, to achieve my goals or like help me win that medal, then you have nothing to say. You know, like all the hate, all the backlash, it was a lot. And I just had to like take a step back and remember that like my support system, my inner circle, my family, my friends, or my coaches, like these are the only people who I will only accept criticism from, because they've been there and they've been part of my journey and they saw everything behind the scene.
I love the tip of tune out anyone outside of your inner circle. Other recommendations for athletes who feel like they're just being totally miscovered, misjudged.
I think like just turn off social media. Social media can be like so toxic. As much as it's great, like there are so many toxic things about it. And I think I told myself like whenever I'm going to Olympics or World Championships, I'm just gonna turn off my social media before, during, and I might even open it after, but it's not like a mandatory thing. After my Tokyo experience, like I learned to not share everything and not really welcome everyone to just say whatever they want. You know, like I'm not ready for that. And I think like this time around, I'm just like protecting my peace and energy a lot more.
I don't understand why people cannot grasp the fact that we're human before being athletes. We gave our all, so obviously we're upset. We don't need their negativity.
Yeah. Like, obviously you give it your all. And I understand, like, the Olympics is the highest stage of competition and everyone watches that. But you can't disregard what we also did in World Championships or, like, other big competitions. Like, that performance does not define me. Like, it was just one bad swim. And I think, like, I learned that the hard way. And this is why this time around, like, I'm just a lot more cautious with the people around me.
Farida, I was going to ask you, what advice would you give to your younger self? So say little Farida is listening in. What would you tell yourself?
I would tell my younger self not to worry so much and just believe that everything is going to turn out okay. And I think I don't want to take swimming so deeply into my heart, like everything I take it to heart. Yes, because it's a big part of my life, but it's just not everything. At the end of the day, it's just a sport. And I think, like, win or lose, what's most important in you as a person. And I think, like, if I knew that at a younger age, when I was a kid, obviously it's not easy, but just like letting the little things go and not really try to control and focus on all the little details.
I'd love to ask a follow-up to that. So you mentioned that there's, swimming is something, it's your job, but there's all these other parts to you. So what are the different parts of yourself that people may not see?
I love dressing up. Like, I'm really interested in fashion, and I think because I'm an athlete, I don't get to do that a lot because I'm always like in sweat and my cap and goggles, and I'm like, no, I don't want that. So any opportunity I get to dress up, I will do. Even if it's like to dinner, I will dress up to that. Like, I really enjoy dressing up. I really enjoy makeup. I enjoy doing my hair. I just enjoy the glam. And because I don't get to do that a lot, I really appreciate when I can.
How do you feel right now getting ready for the Olympics? What's your current state of mind?
Getting ready, to like really have all the pieces like come together. And again, whatever happens, happens. But I think just like the last push is literally what I have left to give. Like, I feel like I'm happy and confident enough in like all the hard work that I've put in. So now, right now, like from here until Paris, it's just like tweaking and sharpening and like just making sure like you get the best performance.
Farida, we're asking all the athletes that we're interviewing what they want to say to their fellow Olympians who are going to be with them in Paris. So what do you want to say? And hopefully, I know you're still qualifying, but we have our fingers crossed for you. What do you want to say to everyone?
I just want to say good luck to everyone. Like, I know we all work really, really, really hard, and I'm sure we're all going to be very proud of whatever happens, and like we're going to represent well our countries. So I would just tell everyone good luck and really enjoy every moment in Paris.
Thanks for tuning into Flame Bearers.
If you like what you're hearing, please leave us a positive review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow us along on social media for more behind-the-scenes exclusive content on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever social platform you are on. Thank you, and stay tuned for our upcoming episode.